for letting us come in. Miss Knight and I, this is our last semester in grad school, so we are doing a training session on Seesaw. And so you're our last training session, so thank you for letting us come in. So today we're going to be talking about creating Seesaw activities. And so our goal for today is to be able to show you how to create a Seesaw activity using Seesaw. And so what we will be going over is where to go to create an activity, what buttons and tools you need to press to create an activity, creating an activity using clip art, quick ways to get your clip art into the activity that you are creating, and if there's time, we will briefly tell you ways you can use PDF files or images as an activity as well. And lastly, we are going to share a Google Drive folder with you that Erin shared briefly through email, and we created it, and it's going to have a PowerPoint, it's going to have tutorials, and then it will have cheat sheets on different things that you need to make for Seesaw for your kids. And so your job is to follow along with Mrs. Knight and myself, because at the end you will have to make an activity based on what we have shown you today, and you will have to send it to us, in which we'll show you how to share a link to your activity that you created. And at the end there will be an exit survey that you will need to take for us, and we just ask that you fill that out at your convenience. So I'm going to start with my part. So I would like for you to go to Seesaw if you don't have that pulled up already, and just give me a thumbs up when you have it pulled up. Okay, so we are going to go over the buttons and the tools just as a reminder before Erin shows you, or Miss Knight shows you, how to create an activity. So the first button you're going to go to is this green plus sign button that says add. So I would like for you to do that, and then I would like for you to click assign activity with the light bulb. Once you've hit assign activity, you will go to create a new activity, and that's the blue plus sign button. And now if you weren't creating an activity yourself and you wanted to use somebody else's activity, you could just go to the community button. We're not going to go there now, but just so you know, you could go to the community button and you can edit theirs to make it how you want it for yourself. But today we're just going to do the create an activity button. And then once you've gone to the create an activity button, you're going to have to name your activity. You can add voice instructions. Since this is pre-K, you're not going to use the different buttons probably that we may use in kindergarten, where you actually have the codes. And we have the cheat sheets though, if you ever want to use those. So those will be in the drive for you. And then you're going to add a template, and that's the button at the bottom that you're going to add the clip art through. And so once you've clicked that add template for student response, you will then click the pencil so that you can upload the clip art. And this is going to be the fun part, where Erin shows you, Miss Knight shows you the easy way to add your clip art in, instead of saving it all to your computer first and having to go and find it, because that can be a hassle. And then the last step will be, once you have your clip art inside of your Seesaw page, you have the tools on the left side. The T is for text, so you can add text. The microphone, you can add voice again, and Miss Knight will show you how to make that smaller so it literally looks like what they would see on iReady, where they get to just click the microphone button. And then there's the camera button if you need to upload any more pictures, but again, we're going to show you the easier way to do that. And then the button with the 3 dots has the backgrounds and the different shapes that you can use. And then of course the tools on the bottom, you have your pencil, marker, highlighter, and eraser. So those are all the buttons and tools that you're going to be using today. Do you have any questions about those tools? Okay. So let's learn how to create an activity, and I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Knight.
207.
And I will stop sharing my screen so that she can get on.
Just waiting for 207 to pop up. Oh.
see 207. I'm gonna try again. If I don't see it, I can always plug in and do it from there. Oh, there it is. Okay, so you might already be in Seesaw. If you are, I am going to start by, I don't think that one, so I'm going to close that tab. I am going to go to my class, and if you're already in there, if you hit the green add button, assign activity. The activity that we're going to do today that I shared the clip art with you is for a sorting bears activity. It's going to look a lot like this one right here because I made one so that you could see what it was going to look like. So this is what we're going to do today is going to look like, and I'm going to show you how we can get there. So I'm going to go back, and we're going to hit the create new activity button, and then you have to title it. So I would title it sorting bears or sorting bears by color, however you would like to do that. Since I already have one, I'll say sorting bears math activity. And that's really just for me, since pre-K, they wouldn't necessarily be able to read that. You could type in the directions, but with pre-K, you really don't have to. So if you come down here to add voice instructions, you'll hit the microphone, and you might say something like, hit the green add response button, then use the move tool, which looks like a hand, to sort the bears by color. When you're done, tap the microphone and record yourself counting the bears for me. And then they'll have the directions that they can play. If when you're doing that, you record it and then you go back and listen to it and you don't like it, you can always hit the trash can and start over again. So now that we have their directions, we're going to come to the Add Template for Student Response button and click on that and come over to Drawing. And the drawing is what gives you the creative canvas that we're going to be using to create our bear sorting activity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my desktop, and I'm going to make sure that I have my Counting Bear clip art open. And what I want to do is I'm going to split my screen. This is the one that's going to save you some time, but I'm going to show you how to do it the normal way as well. I'm going to go over here to my green dot at the top and do tile window to the left of the screen, and then I'm going to click on my clip art so that I have them both there. It just saves a little bit of time, so as you're dragging your items over, you can just literally drag them. You don't have to insert them and upload them. So I was thinking about doing 5 colors when I did mine, so I'm going to take one bear and drag it in, and you can drag multiple ones. I want 5 different colors, so you can choose what 5 colors you use. And then I'm going to show you how we can change the size and things like that. Let's see, so I need one more. I want a green bear. Now that I have that, I'm going to close. Once you have your bears in, I would close out of the second screen so that you have the full screen. Let's see. So that you have the full screen. So now that you can move your bears around and manipulate their sizes. To manipulate the size, much like you do when you're inserting a picture into a Word document, you take the corners and you shrink them. So what I like to do is try to make them all about the same size, because we want to kind of have like a set like we would if we had the bears on the table for them to sort. So I'm going to make them all about the same size for this activity. Now, if you wanted to sort them by size, you would want to make their sizes a little different. But today, since we're doing color, we're going to make them about the same size. And now that we have our bears about the same size, we are going to duplicate them. Now, when you do this, you can kind of decide how many you want of each color. And I'm going to wait a minute just to make sure that you guys have that, because I know that is a lot. You guys good?
Yes.
Okay, so now what I would do is when you click on your image, you have the 3 dots. You can click on that and duplicate. And I would do that as many times. Like I'm going to make 3 yellow bears, so I will duplicate it twice. And then I don't want them to be all beside each other. I want them to be able to sort them. So I'm going to take them and slide them and move them around. When I have those ones where I want, one of the things that I really like, it's a newer feature. If you click on the 3 dots again and hit lock, don't lock the shape, but lock size, so that when your students go to manipulate it, they can't make it really big or really small, because that is super frustrating to them. They can't flip it around either, so it just makes it a lot easier.
You
So
have to
once,
do that on every single one.
yes, unfortunately you have to do it for each one when you do that, but it definitely pays in the long run, because we created activities last year for our kids and that wasn't a feature. So now we forgot that it wasn't that way then. So we have to go back and do that. And it just makes it a lot easier for you and the students. So then I'm going to maybe make 2 green bears. So I'm going to go back, hit those 3 dots, duplicate, and you can do more than 2 if you'd like. Again, then you'll lock your size for those bears. And you'll just continue with the different color bears that you have.
Can you select more than one at a time and try locking it that way?
I've never had luck with that, but I'm not saying you can't. Does it let?
Command or shift?
Did it let you do
Yeah, I
that?
think it's just-
Okay, I think it's individually. At least that's what I've always done. That is a good question, and I can look into that. Oops, I didn't accidentally locked my bear instead of duplicate. Okay. The good thing about Seesaw is it's very forgiving. You can pretty much undo anything you need to.
I wonder if you can lock your master before you.
It won't let you duplicate it if you lock it,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Sounds like something Seesaw.
But it really seems they are pretty good. Whenever people start coming up with ideas, I've noticed a lot of the things we said, oh, I wish we had, they have found a way to make it happen. From what I've been reading on different blogs about Seesaw. So once you have that done, I'm going to leave my blue as 1, just so that I have some various numbers for them to do. Make sure they're all locked. I got one more. Gotta do orange. And when you have that, I always like to just put a background in, which is the 3 dots that Miss Wilson showed you. I just like to have a contrasting background. So you can pick a color that you like. I thought purple, since I didn't use purple bears, would be a good contrast as a background for them to sort with. And even though we gave them directions, I'm going to show you how you can still give them directions again on this page, because once they're in, sometimes they still need that reminder.
If you wanted to sort like into like a box that is red, a box that is green.
What you would do is you can come over here to shapes, and you can select a rectangle or a square,
I don't know where
and then the shapes, if you hit the 3 dots, I'm sorry, and you can make it bigger if you would like to. Like say I want this to be the red one, so I have my rectangle, hit the 3 dots, and you can come over here and you can change the color. So you could make a box for the red ones, and I would lock the box in place wherever you want it to be. But yes, you can definitely do it that way as well. Or if you just wanted to give them, for example, if you wanted to, let me delete that one. If you just wanted to give them circles to sort them into, so you could see like where they have them ringed, you could insert from the 3 dots a circle shape. And if you hit those 3 dots, you can make it so it's just the outline of the shape. And you could make that colored too, so that you could still see the bears. as well, and you can make it bigger.
I missed how you changed the color of the box.
Hit the 3 dots and go up to style, and then on the side down here, there's the
Oh, gotcha.
the selection. So you could make it a box, you could make it a circle, and then I would lock that in place just so you could kind of see where they have them. Because if you lock the circle where it is, it won't, you probably will want to, just to be safe, once you have your shape that you want to do, if you hit the 3 dots, we're probably going to want to send that to the background just to make sure everything can move. Kind of like when you do active studio, sometimes you have to lock things around and layer them.
You're doing your boxes.
Yeah, I'll show you how to do that because no,
You're good.
that's totally fine. I really like your idea of putting the circle or the box there. I'm gonna send it to the back and lock it just to make sure I'm telling you the right thing. Yeah, that's what I would do. Okay.
Okay. Another question for you.
Yes.
I want to stack my bears, and
You're one of those.
I am one of those.
Do you want to stack them like randomly?
Yes. So like they're
Okay.
just pulling the top bear off.
So
But when I tried it, it put them in color order.
So if you're gonna stack them, I would, you're probably gonna have to change the layering of them.
How would I do that?
Well, I mean, like, see, like this one's going behind this one. If you want it to go on top, which would still work when they're moving them, you would want to, I guess you wouldn't want to send them all to the back because then,
What I found is when I was stacking them, it looked like it was putting some behind, some on
Yes.
top, but it was really putting them in with their colors.
oh,
Like all of.
that is a very good question. I'm not 100% sure about that. I've only ever
Wait a minute.
honestly
Wait a
stacked
minute.
things of the same color,
Okay.
like when I make counters and
Let's try
stuff.
again.
She's gonna try it again.
Okay.
I think it is based on the order in which you created them. And
Oh, that might
you
be
duplicated them.
by
and then
color.
Duplicated another color and then duplicated another
Okay,
color.
that won't be cutesy. I'll just put them all around.
Sorry. But no, I understand what you're saying, and that is a good point. It probably is the order that we created them in.
I can sit some on top of each
Now, if you have your box already created, you'll want to click on the 3 dots again and go to order, which is right below style, and send it to the back.
other.
I'm sorry. When I'm looking back there.
I'm a little slow.
No, it's okay. And I'm
Will
happy
it let
to.
you do that if it's already locked?
I would send it to the back and then lock it.
Yeah, because it's not letting.
Yeah,
me with
because
it.
it'll make you unlock it. But then if you lock that, that won't move even though the bears are moving, and that just takes one level of frustration again away from the students.
Light blue. That's good enough. Okay. So I've got my boxes and I scattered my bears.
So you want to lock them, your boxes, and keep them
Yes.
in, and send them to the back, which is again those 3 dots.
Order.
Yes.
Send back. Order, send back, and then lock all.
Mhm.
Order. Sorry, I'm a gotta do it.
No, that's totally fine.
Okay, like this. This takes like 5 minutes.
Yeah, once you get the hang of it, it's easier.
Yeah, it gets
First,
quicker.
It's a little overwhelming.
Yes. And once you have one created, you can easily go in and edit it and use the same type of manipulatives, just changing the
So
design.
just hit the green check mark now.
Not yet. First, I want to show you how you can add your directions again. I'm going to come and hit these 3 dots on the side again and hit shape. I like to hit the speech bubble so that they kind of know that I'm talking, and select that. And you can, again, change the color. You can make it bigger or smaller. And actually, I'm going to unlock my shape because I don't want it over that. I'm going to move that out of the way. And then lock. You can add text even though they can't read it by hitting the text tool, the typing tool if you want, that says sort the bears by color. You don't have to do that. I'm going to show you how to add the voice as well. But if you wanted there to be text for them, especially depending on what time of the year it is, as they're beginning to maybe recognize some words later in the year, you can change the style if you want to, the font. You don't have to. That's, again, when you hit the 3 dots and you go to style, it has 6 different fonts you can use. I like the feather font because I feel like it's a lot easier for them to read. But, again, that's personal preference. And then I'm going to take this and move it over here to my speech bubble. And I'm going to shrink it so it fits on there. And then I'm going to lock it so that it is in my speech bubble with my 3 dots. And then if you hit the 3 dots again, there is, oh, I was trying not to lock that one. Okay. If you hit the 3 dots on the speech bubble, there is a record my voice option, or the voice option that looks like the microphone. So if you click that, you can record your directions. Sort the bears by color, and then it will put the speaker button right there for you. There is another way to do that, but if you're doing just 1 or 2 things, it's easier to do it that way. You also could hit the record button if you wanted to do it that way. Sort the bears by color and click done. But if you do it that way, you will want to shrink it so all you see is that speaker button. So if you're only giving them the one direction, I would do it the way adding the voice to it. But if you have to add multiple directions, I would do the screen record one, because then you can take that and put it beside a specific question. But if we're just doing the one thing, you don't need to do that. But there are more than one ways to do that. So I'm going to delete that because I don't need that. So if you're done, you're going to hit the green check button and then save. Now this is where you can assign the activity to your class. And I think we all have several classes in our folder. I usually retitle one and use that for everything. You can edit the students. You can send it to specific students. For example, if you had students on quarantine, you could send it to them. Or students that need extra practice with sorting, send it to them. And then you would hit the green check to send it to them. And then if you wanted to send it to another coworker, you would come down here and put share activity, which is what we'd like you to do with us. And so then you hit select teachers, and you can choose our names from the list and then send the activity to us. You also can do the get activity link and just email that as well. That's what we sometimes do for our Google Drive for our lesson plans. If we have an activity we're sharing with the grade level, we just put it in our Google Drive as a link. I hope that showed you some ideas you could use to make activities more hands-on for your kids and a little bit easier, since I know you don't necessarily want them on the iPads all day because they need to have that manipulative time as well. And if you have any other questions or want to know how to do any other activities, please feel free to let us know. In the survey that we sent you, you can either scan the QR code, or from once you get this in your email, you can click on the link as well, just to let us know if you have any other questions. We are happy to come follow back up with you. So hopefully that helped make some things a little bit easier for you. So, and again, thank you so much for letting us work with you today.
Thank you.